What's up guys, this is JDPN Draws, and this is my very first video on this channel, and in this channel I'm just going to be showing you everything I know about drawing, and today I'm going to be showing you a little bit about what this channel is about, and the kind of stuff that I like to draw, so let's get into it. Okay, so this is me drawing Spider-Man. He's one of my favorite people to draw, and also, he's one of my favorite superheroes. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the channel. So it's all about the content. It's all clean. There's no cuss words or inappropriate pictures or anything. Just having fun with art. And I'll be showing you guys how I draw, and I hope that you guys can kind of see some stuff that I do and kind of use that a little bit, but turn it into your own style of drawing. You don't need to exactly copy what I'm doing, because if you do that, I find that it doesn't really, it's not easy for you to copy someone else, the way someone else draws. You should just find your own way and take some points from other people and some tips and stuff, but just look for your own way of drawing and try to find that. But yeah, as you can see, we have erased everything on the inside. We've done an outline. Now we're doing his hands. And we've drawn where his web's gonna go. That thing I did with the ruler, that line over there. Hands are really tricky, and sometimes you just have to keep erasing them and going over them, and eventually you'll get the right thing that you want, and that's what I had to do for this picture, but eventually I got it. And so now moving on to the feet, and they were kind of small, so I had to redo that, and so that's just another example of, if something doesn't look good, you can't just, if you don't worry about it and you just skip it, it won't end up looking the way you want it to look in the end. So sometimes you just have to keep erasing and just keep drawing stuff over again, and eventually you'll get to something that you really like. And so that's what I'm doing with the head. I drew his eyes there, and so Spider-Man's pretty hard to draw because he has a web design that's it's not a complicated web design, but it's pretty tedious, and you just have to keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it's pretty boring, but I feel like it just looked really cool in the end, so it's all worth it in the end. And so now I'm adding some of the costume design, just the shape that his costume takes, and again, I just have to keep erasing and keep going over until I get something that I'm really happy with, and so just drawing takes a lot of that, and I did the spider symbol right there on his chest, and now I'm going into the really tedious, really hard to draw web design. I finished up his head in the end, and then I realized that actually I was doing the web design the wrong way, which was pretty disappointing, but then I had to erase it all and go over it in a different direction. But just if you don't do that stuff, it won't end up looking as good, so drawing takes a lot of time, and if you want it to look as good as possible, there's going to be some really annoying things that you have to do, but it's all worth it in the end because it makes a really nice, good outcome. And so now I'm working on the web design for his body, and I finished it up there. Now I'm going over and the little swooshy lines, it's kind of just like drawing vertical lines and then swooshes in between them, connecting them. It's really simple, but you have to do it over and over and over again. So it's hard, but as I keep saying, it's all worth it in the end. So you just have to draw something with a pencil and then go over it with a marker if you think it looks good, and you just kind of keep doing that over and over again. Just draw with a pencil. If you think it looks good, go over with a marker, and then you just keep doing that in the different stages, and eventually you'll get a good drawing. And you can copy this if you want to at home, but it's time-lapse, so you'd have to pause it a lot. But this is just showing a little bit of the kind of stuff that I like to draw on this channel. And if you don't really like to draw superheroes, that's fine, because that's not the only stuff that we draw here. We're going to draw all kinds of stuff, and we're going to make it enjoyable for as many people as possible, for people who like just anything. It's not only going to be superheroes, so this is just one of the things that I really like to draw. I like to draw superheroes, so Yeah, so now I'm going over on his feet, doing the web design on his feet. It wasn't too hard. I mean, it's not as hard as it was for the face or the body or anything. But yeah, so then I'm going on to the next foot. Go over it with marker, and then draw the web design with pencil, and I thought it ended up looking good. And then you go over it with marker eventually. So it's just kind of just repeating the same stuff, really repetitive. Going over with marker now, fine tip marker. What I have is, I have a fine tip marker, and then I have another fine tip marker, but it's a little brushier, and it's not as fine as the one I'm using a lot in this video. And then I have like a Sharpie, which is just for like getting big areas. And so I just did the web design on his hands there. Now I'm working on the web. The design for the web, and I use my my bigger fine tip Sharpie there. And if you can see the arrow that I drew there, that's for where the sun or the lighting is coming from. And so now I'm going into the shading, and the shading is hard, but it eventually, as you keep doing shading, you'll eventually get in the hang of it. It's just kind of drawing black areas where the light is not. So you're just like darkening the areas where there's no light. And you don't have to draw an arrow like I did, but I find it helpful and useful. It's just like if you ever want to look back to where the light is, you can just look at that and see exactly where it's coming from and what angle it's coming from, so you know where to shade. Shading does take some time, just like everything in this video has, but I mean, it's turning out pretty good, as you can see. This is pretty much at the end, just getting in the final touches. I tried doing something on the knee here for shading, but it didn't really end up working out, so I did a cast shadow for like under his arm on his leg, but then I just ended up erasing the thing that was on his knee because it didn't really look very good. And so that's it. I signed my name and I'm done. Okay, so this is the final outcome that we got. I'll put it close to you guys. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. I mean, there are a few things that I would change, but I mean, overall it's pretty good, I would say. It took me about an hour or maybe a half hour to do it. And so yeah, I just always sign my name by my pictures when I'm done. It's just something I do. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below about what you think about this picture and what you think about the channel. And make sure to tell all your friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.